Yeah, the massive influx of users has made it so that you are able to very easily curate your...
Do not worry.
اليوم يا رباعي بنلعب لعبة حماسية هنا. انتوا بالبيت العبوا معانا. اللعبة هي هل هذا نشال ولا إرهابي؟ يلا نشوف سوا يا شباب.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to episode 152 of Do Not Worry. I'm your host, Anthony, coming to you straight from the heart of Lebanon. I'm joined by Karine. She's here alone this week. How's it going, Karine?
It's good. Feels lonely here, though.
It does. Not everyone can join every single week. We got different combinations. So this week, Karine is writing solo. Folks, there's chaos in Amsterdam. The H3 drama is over. Trump has begun slapping together his cabinet, and it's pretty pro-Israel. We introduce our new international viewers to our crazy Lebanese TikTokers. And we're going to taste test the new Lebanese Mr. Beast's poisonous product. He's got a juice product. He's called Maestro. We're going to be trying his juice. A couple other fun little topics to talk about. But before we get into it, folks, I just want to take a second to thank some of our brand new patrons. Abductee patrons like Zo or Zio, Villamina, Batman09, Simon Ayoub, and RC207. Brand new blonde patrons like Tony Bali, Kara the Gamer Girl from Mars, Ilsham Atni, George Busaleh, Paris Ray, Deathwish Dina, Richard Fairbanks, and two brand new superhero patrons, G and Bader. Or Bator. Thank you guys so much for supporting us on Patreon. It is the only way and the best way to support us. If you guys want to see how you can support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description. Look through the tiers. Pick one that's right for you. We did a Zoom call with the patrons like a week ago. It was super fun. We got to meet a lot of you guys, and I plan on doing a second one very soon. We're also going to be filming a Patreon exclusive segment at the end of this episode, so patrons, you get a little bit of extra content. So consider supporting us on Patreon. A lot of these episodes are getting demonetized because every time we talk about war or genocide, YouTube isn't very friendly with that stuff, and we're not getting any sponsorships right now because of the war, and like we're not looking for any sponsorships. So Patreon is the best way to support us. So we really appreciate you guys. And let me thank our God tier patrons as usual: Rifat Fakih, Elia Al-Mujabir, Jessica Ann, Jack Sleeman, Siso Hayek, Dominic Selzer, Tamara Isa, and Google Sensors. Thank you guys so much. A couple of other superhero patrons like Melting Around, Maroon Bouslayman, and blonde patrons like Jad Al-Haj and Ahmad M. We love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Yeah, and be sure to follow us on Discord as well. We're doing Zoom calls for patrons, but I'm also going to be doing stuff on Discord. Sometimes it's going to be on Zoom, sometimes on Discord, so make sure you're there as well. So before we get going with the actual episode, I just want to wrap up the whole H3 thing. Are you sick of me talking about H3?
I'm not sick, but like some of the people in the comments are like, you're really milking this H3 thing. And it's like, well, it's fine, guys.
We're not milking it. Look, the reason this is important is because Ethan legitimately like has a massive platform, millions of Instagram followers, millions of YouTube subscribers, and they went after like my actual friends. They went after Frogan, they went after Capri, they went after Raph. They've been blocked on Twitch for a few weeks now. He's been going after Hassan. So honestly, I saw it as my responsibility and other smaller creators like myself to not just sit there and shut up and let Ethan get away with this and let him smear some of my close friends and trying to get rid of Arab creators and get them deplatformed. So I don't know, I thought it was very important for us to actually try to fight back and show the audience that Ethan and Hila have been making a lot of problematic comments and that they might be considered Zionists. I think I've actually been able, and I don't want to sound too cocky, but I think I've been able to deal a pretty significant blow to the H3 podcast by clipping and sharing this clip of, and we talked about this last week, of Hila defending Yoav Gallant, the Israeli defense minister. I'm not one to usually clip video clips and share them on Twitter out of context to get people in trouble. But again, these people have been going after my friends. They've been trying to deplatform Arab creators, and they've been just calling us racists and anti-Semites. So I kind of had to go after them, and I thought it was my responsibility. So I was watching one of their episodes. I noticed something that Hila said that was extremely problematic, and Ethan joined in. Let's just watch that again, because this is the clip that basically got Hila off the podcast.
Yeah, Bibi like talk a lot, and Bibi's become a lot like Trump.
Yeah,
so.
Bibi's his guy. They're like homies. Bibi's celebrating last night.
Just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement, and that's like so Trump code.
But he was like a moderating voice in the war room.
Yeah.
And he got rid of him, or at least a more moderate voice. I don't know anything about the guy. Just recognize his picture. He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No.
So this clip reveals so much. Like, it reveals that these two Israeli citizens that have been commenting about politics for the past year and calling everyone like a racist and an anti-Semite, They don't know shit about politics. They don't know shit about their own government and their own country. Ethan admits that he doesn't know anything about Yoav Gallant, his own minister of defense. Ela there's like, yeah, I think he's a good guy. We don't really follow the news. Then Ethan had to clarify on Instagram that like they don't really both know much about the guy. So like it was just kind of absurd. So I clipped it. I shared it online. Hassan got to see it. Let's just watch this clip. Just the first few seconds one more time.
But yeah, I saw this as well. This is from the Don't Worry Pod, the guys in Lebanon that I platformed before.
We love you.
And BB's.
So that's my tweet. As you can see, Hassan saw the tweet. Hassan reacted to it. Ethan saw Hassan reacted to it. He went crazy, etc., etc. Then they released this sort of statement. Let's just watch that really quickly.
What he said and what he's done should very well be investigated by the International Criminal Court. And if he's found, he should submit to investigation. If he's found guilty, then charge him. But what I am saying is that I think that while Ela misspoke and said he's a good guy, her intention was that, you know, this guy is trying to end the war. And I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page. He's not that being a good thing.
The reason I brought it up was mainly to express the frustration with BB and him firing the one guy who was somewhat, you know, attempting at moderation. It wasn't really so much to say, God, he's a good guy. I shouldn't have used that word. That was ambassadors on my part, considering stuff that you said that I was not even thinking of. It really comes from the concerning feeling of like, we have Trump in office and BB just fired the guy that is opposing him. That's all I was trying to say, but I do understand that was not a good choice of words, and I would not have said that again. So I'm stepping away for a little while from being on camera and being on the podcast. It's too much, and it's not fair for everybody. And
Oopsie. So part of me, like I would say 2% of me feels a little bit bad, but like she made those comments, horrible, tone-deaf comments. They were still like defending him, like, yeah, he wants to end the war. He doesn't want to end the war. He's just like, it's completely ridiculous. So the clip that I clipped and shared on Twitter literally got Ela off of the podcast. I don't think there's any more I can do personally here sitting in Lebanon. You know what I mean? I think I've done my part. I've made a long-ass episode expressing why I've stopped watching H3, my problem with them. We followed up on the story for like another 2 weeks. I think it's done. They released an episode on Monday. As far as I know, Ethan didn't mention Hassan. He didn't go after any of his fans anymore. He's just gonna try to take it easy because their views are dropping. Like they're dropping like a stone, man. Look at this right here. Their last 2 episodes are struggling to hit 600K. They normally do that in like just a couple of days. They've been struggling to hit even 800K. None of their episodes in the last couple of few weeks have hit 800K. It's funny. There's even like an article. Ela Klein steps away from H3 podcast following controversial remarks. I'm like, oh my god, this is all like my fault.
I just find it kind of funny. It took her saying that Gallant was a good guy for it to be considered like a controversial remark of her to step away. She said worse shit.
They said a lot of fucked up shit. Like she called it
worse.
a terrorist city. Like a whole bunch of shit. I don't know why. This is the one. I'm just happy. Look, I'm like, who cares? This is the clip that did it. Okay, I wish it took Ethan down as well, but like, hey, who knows? Hopefully they can see the light one day and like they can wake up and like at least apologize for their comments, or at least, you know, connect with the audience and be like, hey, we know what you guys were talking about. We finally understand what you guys were upset about. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not watching the show anymore, and I know that a lot of you guys aren't as well. So it's done. As far as unless Ethan, you know, goes back to attacking Frogan or Hassan or something, we're not going to talk about this anymore. And we've done our part, so you guys are welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome, America.
I don't even know what to say at this point. Okay, I'm sorry. Ethan just won't stop. Okay, I promised myself I wouldn't do this. No more H3 updates. I thought it was over. Ethan said back to fun episodes. They didn't talk about anything on Monday. Then right after we filmed our episode on Wednesday, Ethan went on and did another episode and literally played Twitch or terrorist. It's insane, folks. It's unhinged. I don't even know what to say anymore, but we have to cover this because it is pretty like inflammatory, and this is way worse than whatever he thinks Frogan did with the Subra hummus thing. We just need to talk about this. First of all, so Ethan had promised an episode about, who was it? Brianna Chicken Fry. I don't know who the hell that is. That was on the thumbnail. They were going to talk about Brianna Chicken Fry. Have a good time. Halfway through the episode, apparently they pivoted to talk about Dan Bilzerian, and then they ended up switching the thumbnail to what this is now. Ethan destroys Dan Bilzerian with facts and logic, where Ethan reacted to the interview that Dan Bilzerian did with Piers Morgan, which, to be fair, is completely unhinged. Like, you guys all know how I feel about Israel and the state of Israel and all of that sort of thing, but everything that Dan Bilzerian is talking about is completely just ridiculous and does nothing but harm the pro-Palestine movement. But like, nobody takes this guy seriously. He hasn't been relevant in like fucking 5 or 7 or 8 years. Like, I can't even remember when people were looking at Dan Bilzerian and stuff. things on Instagram. But anyways, Ethan ended up reading just a whole bunch of anti-Semitic comments that were left under the Piers Morgan and Dan Bilzerian interview for like 40 minutes nonstop. He just kept reading comments. And what I'm going to read to you now are comments from his own audience. And a lot of them are paying members. Anytime you see like a purple H3 badge next to the commenter's name, that means they're a paying member. They pay H3 like $5 a month to be members of their channel. And these are the comments that they're leaving Ethan, and all of the comments are like this, okay? Mark Black says, bro, as a 10-year-long fan, it's getting so hard to watch this podcast. Every episode is just ranting about the same thing over and over. Alex Wardlaw, who's a member, says, I was so excited for Olivia's PowerPoint, which was about the Brianna chicken fry thing, which they completely skipped over and didn't do. Grace Kennedy says, every time an Olivia PowerPoint is missed, an angel dies. Colby says, I wonder if it's time for a break. I think unplugging for a bit would do wonders for Ethan's mental health. Much love to the crew. Morty Gomez, also an H3 member, so was Colby, says, genuinely asking, as a Jewish person, how is reading 40 minutes of hateful comments making any kind of point that helps us as people? And then playing that Islamophobic game. This is wild. I can't believe how bad it's gotten, fam. Disappointed. So this person is like a Jewish member of like Ethan's H3 podcast on YouTube, and he doesn't listen to anyone. He's just completely blind to what everyone is saying. I'm just going to read a whole bunch of other comments because it is kind of shocking. And again, a lot of them from paying members, folks. Imagine you guys, like my patrons, you guys are paying me, and I'm like completely ignoring what you guys are requesting. And he does something worse later. Jupiter Spices says, I literally cannot pick my jaw up from the ground after seeing them play a game that posed a literal Muslim man against Osama bin Laden under the name terrorist. What the F? S. Vadia says, honest question, what exactly does Ethan think he's accomplishing by manically reading racist comments left by the dregs of society on a Piers Morgan video for 45 minutes? Limp Chimp says, remember I need a change. We're going to start doing fun episodes again. Come on, bro. It's been nonstop rants for 2 weeks now. Faith from the Block, this is also an H3 member. Girl, we wanted the PowerPoint, been watching for over 5 years, and it's brutal these days. Watching more for the crew than Ethan at this point. A lot of you guys are leaving similar comments under this podcast, like you're not happy with the direction of the show, etc. And yeah, everybody agrees. Respect Vita says, this podcast is dying because of Ethan's inability to just let things go. He's extremely paranoid and has a victim complex. You're not the one dying here, Ethan. Please put your comedy podcast back on the rails and stop silencing the fans who make you successful. Here's another H3 member, CJ. We didn't even get Olivia's PowerPoint. I just wish this show would go back to being enjoyable and supporting its crew's creativity like it used to. Kind of regretting having a membership, man. Another comment, Robin says, him posting that he's being brigaded by other communities when the majority of the comments are paying members. Exactly, it's kind of crazy. Andrew says, with peace and love, bring back the peace and love. Mike says, I didn't realize I was here for a Piers Morgan episode. VI, also a member. I wonder if Ethan will take all this feedback about how depressing the shows become into consideration. Probably won't. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's pretty crazy. His own community is completely unhappy. And this is even worse. Check this out. So while Ethan was live streaming, one of his members, a member for 13 months, so multiply $5 a month by 13, and this is how much this person has paid Ethan. So at least like $65. He says, the way you're engaging with anti-Semitism online is deeply unproductive and clearly harming you and your family. Try advocating in real life. For now, maybe, peace and love. And this is Ethan's response to this comment.
I just read a comment. Can you ban this person? C sound? Just permanently ban them from chat. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
C
13.
sound?
Yeah.
All right. Try and find him. I'm coming for you, C sound.
And they were banning
Netanyahu testified.
and they kept banning people from the chat throughout the episode. Anyone who said move on in the chat, they would ban them. Anyone who threw tomatoes, they would ban them. Like, these are paying members. You can't interact with their chat unless you pay them $5 a month.
Ben says move on. You can leave. I'm finishing this.
In Israel.
No, he said mini, and then he said ministry.
What is a ministry?
Did you say mini?
Yeah.
Ministry.
Why did you say mini?
He didn't.
No, he said mini, and then he said ministry.
We got it. We got it.
Small
Yes.
street.
Is that what you meant?
A ministry.
It's a little ministry.
Yes.
Nobody said the word little, bro.
He said mini. Roll it back.
No, he did. He said ministry.
Ministry.
A ministry. You're asking what is it?
Yeah,
It's just like a group of worshipers.
Okay.
Yeah. Christian worshipers.
Usually Christian.
Yeah.
And on Monday, we'll be celebrating here. Tyson's trending. Let's see what the people are saying. Tyson stands with Palestine. Is this a joke? I stand with Palestine. Is this a joke about his lisp?
Well, he's Muslim. That's not a shock, right?
No, it's not a shock. But I'm just saying, like, did he say anything, or they just make fun of his lisp?
Oh, I think they're making fun of his lisp, actually.
Wow.
It's an Ayad who tweeted this. Shout out.
Oh wait,
Shout out.
Oh,
is this a real?
There's a community note, so probably not.
Oh, it's fake.
Yeah,
Damn. Okay. Why'd you have to make fun of his lisp?
Yeah.
Can we have Jeffree Star on the show?
You wish.
I mean,
I think he would.
We think come on. He's a great guest.
But I just don't know, like, what's the temp check on?
I mean,
and that's part of the interview, right? Stuff that I disagree.
No.
I can figure.
Knock this down, like, directly. People would talk about it indirectly.
You can ask.
No, I don't think I can.
No, it's fine. He has like a, I don't know.
I'm laughing. I think that's a dangerous line.
No, listen, it is what it is. It's fine. I'm not being rude.
Yeah, I don't know. Does he have an eye
I think
condition?
he was born with, like, one of his eyes either doesn't work or it's cloudy or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just funny.
I don't know
What's
this
funny
one.
about that?
It's funny how Tom asked.
Well, I was smart enough to ask in chat. I didn't want to ask out loud. I didn't want to be
you want to say what you
insensitive.
just wrote?
What I just wrote?
Yeah.
I said he has a disability in one of his eyes.
You said he has a disability in his eye?
Yeah, why are we laughing at disability? Love,
His
will you
eye,
calm
hold
down?
on. His eye doesn't have a disability. He does.
I guess
It's not that.
I see. I just
thought it. We were. Okay.
Loves diet.
His eye has a disability.
Let me explain. Tom, everyone was just enjoying the video, and I see Tom writing down, starting typing. I was like, "What is he going to ask? What's
I knew
going
you
on?"
were gonna think
And I
that.
see that, and then he looks up at me and kind of smirks. And it just got me. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, listen,
I love you, man.
no disrespect, just explaining.
Yeah, thank you.
He's upfront about it. I mean, he's good with, like, he's open about it. You know what I mean? Good for him for that.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah,
There's so many terrible jokes.
Yeah, I don't want to get
right now.
I honestly didn't know before.
People are saying
What?
that it's her Joe Alwyn, her relationship for a long time.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Ethan's Films. Today we're gonna react. We're gonna react to.
I mean, you literally.
You know what? I'm gonna make a rule in the chat for the mods. At any point during the show going forward, any segment, doesn't matter what it is, somebody says move on, 2-week ban. If they've been banned for 2 weeks already, permanent ban.
It's insane, the level of disrespect. Like, imagine I banned one of my patrons for just telling me the most basic thing, like, yo, take a break. This is harming you. This is bad for your mental health. But it gets way worse, folks. Ethan actually started playing a game called Twitch or Terrorist. And, like, the cover photo was a picture of Hassan Piker, friend of the show, my brother, and Osama fucking bin Laden, yo. The insanity of putting Hassan's picture next to Osama bin Laden is fucking insane. It's so fucking racist just because Hassan is Muslim. Anyways, let's just watch a couple of seconds of this fucking racist shit.
Hit me with that game show. Today, my friends, we are gonna play the exciting game here. You at home, play along. We're gonna play, is it Twitch or is it a terrorist? Let's take a look here, guys.
Kill confirmed.
Start.
Pacify the AO, kill team.
All right, everybody, hit me with that suspense. Good. First it was Gaza, then it was Lebanon. Next, oh shit, I'm being timed. Next is the rest of the world. They own America, they own Europe. They control information.
So basically, you'll see a quote, and then Ethan has to click whether it was a Twitch streamer that said it, or if it was like a terrorist that said it. And they're all basically Muslim Twitch streamers. Now, the majority came from, like, whoever the fuck, like Fresh and Fit and the Sneeko, pieces of shit that are obviously anti-Semitic. But they even lumped in Frogan in there, who's obviously not anti-Semitic. Hassan, obviously, on the cover with Osama bin Laden. Fucking insane. And AB even voiced his disappointment. He's like, yo, I don't feel comfortable having Hassan's picture next to Osama bin Laden, and Ethan just ignored it. So yeah, I mean, it's fucking insane. And the fact that Ethan was complaining of a tier list, about a tier list that, you know, ranked people from the most Arab to the least Arab, where Sabra Hummus was considered the least Arab, and he got fucking offended, and he got these people banned off of Twitch for a month, and he made fun of it on this episode again, said that they were on sabbatical. For him to sit there and just compare just Arab streamers, even though some are pieces of shit like Sneeko and fucking Fresh and Fit, people I had never heard of before fucking H3. By the way, he fucking made these people 10 times more famous than they ever were. is just fucking insanely racist, insanely Islamophobic. I'm done giving Ethan like any chance. Not that I was anyways, but like I was hoping he would watch my main H3 video, the episode that I had done, and like maybe it would change his mind. Fuck that, yo. He's a fucking Zionist. His wife is a fucking Zionist. Yoav Galant is a really nice, moderating guy. They're fucking stubborn. They're fucking stupid. They've been exposed for being idiots, and now they're just gonna dig their heels in the sand. And their shrinking base of fans is just gonna go down with them. Essentially, that's it. Their own paying fans are shitting on them in the comments. Like, what more do you want? I don't even have to say anything here or try to rebut what Ethan is saying or doing because he's doing it all to himself. He's destroying his own career. I don't have to do anything anymore. None of us have to do or say anything. He's destroying it himself. And finally, Ethan shared this on his Instagram. He took a screenshot of a bunch of the comments that I read to you guys of like H3 paying members complaining about the episode. And this is what he had to say. Do you not think I want a fun episode? Do you think I enjoy this? I do it because it's important to me. My heart and soul are bleeding right now. I don't want to talk about this shit. Piers Morgan interviewed a Nazi to millions of people, and all the comments supported the Nazi. This is significant and not normal, in all caps. I would be a useless coward to not call this out. As a Jewish man, this makes me feel extremely unsafe and uneasy, and some of you hand wave it away because it's not fun. Use the chapters or take a break from the show because I promise you I will continue to speak my mind on this topic. The problem is that Ethan chooses to speak on this topic by being Islamophobic and playing terrorist or Twitch, and by spending 40 minutes reading just like racist people's comments on YouTube. Like, that's not productive. There are better ways to fight anti-Semitism, which again, it is a problem. But again, it's weird to focus on just anti-Semitism and completely ignore the genocide in Gaza and spew Zionist propaganda with your wife. So I mean, have it your way, Ethan. The viewers, again, everyone sees through what you're doing. No one cares anymore. So good luck, Ethan. I promise you guys. Well, actually, I'm not going to promise that this is the end of the H3 thing, because who fucking knows with Ethan? But yeah, sorry. Back to the regular show. Trump is putting together his cabinet, folks. Now, as you guys know, I didn't vote. I'm a U.S. citizen. I refused to vote because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden started the genocide. They've provided Israel with all the weapons and money that they've needed to execute hundreds of thousands of Palestinians and now Lebanese people. So I'm not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Doesn't matter how much people try to guilt trip you online. What's up?
You vote in Virginia?
Yeah, now I do, yeah.
She won in Virginia. That's like barely.
Oh, she ended up winning?
She won in Virginia, but like barely, so.
Yeah. Well, fuck it anyways. And Trump has started to put together his cabinet. Now everyone's warning us like, oh, we told you Trump was going to be pro-Israel, and you said, like, yeah, and his cabinet picks are, admittedly very pro-Israel. So let's kind of point out some of these people. But before we get into that, actually, let me just look at, here's Joe Biden walking on some sand. The greatest president in the history of presidents, folks. And they wonder why the Democrats lost. It's because they tried to convince us that this man was healthy for 4 years and that he was healthy enough to run for another 4, guys. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. Look at that. Look at that. And look at Jill Biden, just like evil, walking next to him, making him go through all of this.
What is this? Where are they going?
I don't even know. It's just so sad. There was a funny tweet that was like, he's not struggling to walk. He's like a Fremen. He's trying to get the worms off of his...
This is how I walk at the beach for work.
Oh my God, Joe Biden. Anyway, so that's good old Joe Biden. Joe Biden!
We're gonna miss you.
Here's the Muslim vote. This is what it finally looked like. These are like the final stats.
Yeah.
So yeah, in 2020, 93% of Muslim Americans voted for Democrats, only 7% voted for Trump. Now, 4 years later, 20% voted for Democrats compared to 93%, 21% voted for Trump compared to 7%, and 53% voted for Jill Stein from the Green Party. So there has been a massive shift in the Arab or Muslim American demographic, mass exodus from the Democratic Party. Again, because of what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris allowed to happen in Gaza and are allowed to happen in Lebanon, Democrats and libs can keep trying to fucking guilt trip us. You're not going to convince any fucking self-respecting Arab or Muslim to vote for people who started a genocide. And it doesn't matter how much worse Trump makes it. It was already pretty fucking bad to begin with.
And it's like, he's gonna turn Gaza into a parking lot. It's already a fucking parking lot.
Exactly. And let's just get an idea of sort of what are the kind of people that vote for Donald Trump. Obviously, there's a lot of like regular people.
Please tell me I knew it. I knew you were gonna blow up this video.
Oh yeah.
They just found a batch of new ballots. 40 million new ballots. Kamala Harris is president-elect.
Bullshit! She better not have. Enemy UAV inbound.
What? She was the president. She ain't president. She just won the election.
A woman can't run this country.
You're it, Queen.
Oh, I get it straight.
Oh my God. So they're pranking her. They told her that like Kamala Harris actually won the election, so she just kind of lost her mind. So this is the average Trump voter. Pretty cool. No offense to anyone who voted for Trump. If anyone in our audience voted for Trump,
Full offense, but like.
Y'all do you. Again, before we get into the Trump cabinet, there's also this.
I'm a great guy with a heart. I'm a great guy with a heart of gold, and I'm straight for of-age women that are alive, cisgender, non-related, and consenting human female adults, and she knows this. It's not cringe. Tactical stuff kicks ass. You say it's cringe because your mommy won't let you buy a bar.
Now, if you haven't been keeping up with it, Josh is 100% onezo with Jessica. He wants nothing to do with her. He never even wants to utter her name again. Never mind the fact that basically every third video for the past 2 months has been Josh talking about Jessica, and vice versa. All of Jessica's streams are talking about Josh. So they're kind of feeding into this loop with each other. Oh, I hate him. And then he comes back and says, Jessica won't get my name out of her mouth. And I'm not going to talk about her anymore. And then he comes right back and he talks about her some more. So it goes about as expected. It's right on par with Josh because we're basically getting some food hacks. We're getting some guitar playing. We're getting some complaining about Jessica. And it's a crazy ride at this point. I covered this about a month ago with him consistently talking about her, but things have ramped up a little bit more. We got threats against him. We got sending odd objects in the mail. We got peace treaties. We got hypocrisy. We got all of it today. So it's going to be a pretty good one. In case you can't tell, I'm a bit out of it. This is my Michael Jordan flu game. I'm fighting through it in order to talk about some degenerates online. So deal with me if I'm a little bit more crackly, mumbly, grumbly than I typically am. But first, we're going to start off with a very interesting package that Jessica decides to send his way. It's a bit odd, to say the least.
So Jessica Boyle literally sent me 2 pairs of her underwear when she sent the knife back that I gave her when I bought for her when we were dating. You know we broke up and you're trying to send me panties and shit. And she doesn't think that I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna wash them before I let anyone of my fangirl, of-age girlfriend caliber wear them because, you know what I'm saying?
So back around either her first or second visit, I remember Josh buying her a knife at some shop in town in Casper, and I guess she loved it so much, she decided to send back 2 used, just soggy, all oiled up panties that she had laying on the side. Her grandparents, her parents, who are basically at grandparents' age, didn't have time to wash them. Jessica thought this is a good time to put them in a box, send them to Josh's way. And Josh said one of the most outlandish things I think I've ever heard. Why in the world, we all know the fangirls don't exist, but why in the world do you think it would be a good idea to say, hey baby, you want to wear this underwear from my deranged alcoholic ex-girlfriend? You know, why don't you throw those on? You know, do a little thong song, you know, twerk that ass right in front of me so I can think back to my over 40-year-old ex-girlfriend. That's a really good idea there, Josh. I think you're really gonna get the ladies swooning over that. But he goes on to extrapolate that it's not as easy being him, all right? All you trolls out there trying to get one over on him, shame on you.
I would never stalk my ex-crushes the way Jessica's stalking me, you know what I'm saying? I'd never dream of it, especially when all the negative stereotypes facing men. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Now, my life could be worse, but I'm just saying. You've been bullied your entire life and rejected by every chick you like since the 4th grade. You get sick of it too. And then when you try to go on YouTube and date and like socialize with chicks. Everyone's gonna f with you, and then as soon as they find out that the chick you're dating is psychotic, they encourage it because they want content.
You guys just don't understand the turmoils of being an alcoholic wizard on the internet, all right? You know, I understand it. He has to stay inside of his mobile home all day. That's difficult. And drink all the time and spend all of his money on door dashing. God, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Now, in fairness, having to deal with somebody like Jessica, yeah, I can get behind that. That's worse than anything that I'm gonna have going on in the next several weeks. So I get that, Joshy Poo, I get that. But he decides to take this idea that Jessica being a horrible, wretched person, let's try and capitalize off of that bad boy. Let's, you know, and I kind of think that he got this idea because Jessica sent one of his shirts back to him, and he's like, ooh, light bulb moment. This is a brilliant feat of capitalism that King Cobra is gonna partake within.
You sent the t-shirts that you bought from my customized girl t-shirt shop back to me, saying you don't want any of the stuff in the box, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So the t-shirt I'm trying to make about Jessica on my customized girl, what have you, is not being approved. And I decided that I don't need to make a t-shirt about her to get inside of her head. I'm already there, cuz. And the t-shirt, it contained Jessica Boyle, the image of her showing off her saggy boobs, but she was covered. It literally said, Jessica is the worst. And on the back, I had a picture of a broken heart floating in a beer mug.
He goes on to explain that Jessica is revenge porning him. I can't say the actual word, unfortunately, but we all get the gist of what's going on. She was trying to sell videos and pictures and stuff of them online, which, like, I know there's some sickos out there that are probably like, their curiosity is taking over their mind and they're like, yeah, I gotta figure that out. But 99.9% of the people are like, nope, nope. I don't, that's like the darkest parts of the internet that nobody wants to encounter. I have been sent some awful things without my knowledge of what they're gonna be, and let me tell you, when you show up, you think the idea might be kind of goofy, kind of funny at first, but once you actually get the reality of the situation that you're in, ooh, it's not that great. It really is not that great. And he goes on to explain that the cops are being called on his end. He's trying to make fun of her, but